Good morning. You've caught me on a morning where I am rather frantically running about, trying to get ready, trying to get out the door because I'm going to meet my friend Jen. We're gonna have a nice day out together. However, I keep getting sidetracked. Have you ever had mornings like this where the more you want to do and the more you need to do and the more quickly you need to get it done, you keep remembering things that you probably should have put on a to-do list? That's where I'm at right now. In the last vlog, you saw me color my hair. This is a demi-permanent dye. What I didn't know at the time was that particular formula, the name of it, L'Oreal Casting Gloss, is specific to Canada, which is interesting, right? Some of these big multinational companies, like your L'Oreals, have different names for things in different markets, even though it might be all English-speaking places. I've taken my glasses off, so I actually can't see anything that well right now. I am just gonna quickly put on some skincare, quickly do my makeup. I'm still using my Merit Great Skin Serum. I'm actually into my second bottle. I have been enjoying this a lot. The only downside with this serum is that sometimes it's such a watery type of formulation, even though it doesn't feel watery. It's not goopy like other serums. Like for instance, I have this Tula serum. This is much thicker. It almost feels like an ultrasound gel. It's not that kind of serum. It's so thin that sometimes it drops down to the floor. And then I have these old wood floors, and then sometimes it even leaves like a little stain down there. You know, not ideal, but it's unscented. It's been really a game changer for me this winter. What I've been wearing just nonstop is this serum, this moisturizer, and then I use my Merit foundation stick in shade Ochre. And I've heard some feedback from you guys. A lot of people are saying that their shade matching tool is really good. And if it's not the shade matching tool that's good, what often works well for people is like looking at the actual pictures they have of women wearing the shades, so you can kind of get an idea of whose skin tone looks like yours. But I've been wearing this nearly daily. Look how much is still left. It's still like the majority of it is still left. So I have been impressed with how long this lasts, because I used to get the Hourglass one that comes in that kind of triangle shaped stick, and that didn't last hardly at all. That was such a very expensive, and this one is better. Okay, I'm just gonna do my makeup and then I'll see you when we're out and about. In order for me to get downtown from my home in Midtown Toronto, I actually have to take the streetcar and then the subway. And one thing I spotted in the subway station was payphones. Either I haven't paid any attention or there aren't many payphones left, so that was kind of interesting. Off I go up to College Station, and I'm gonna go to two hidden gems. The first is Allen Gardens, which is a beautiful greenhouse. You would never know this was here. Even when I lived in this neighborhood growing up, I never popped in, but now that I'm older, I just love this warmth that you get on a day that's not hot out yet, right? But inside, it's not tropical in here. This is more like a desert climate because you can see all these cacti around, but there's other wings of this huge conservatory that were sadly closed because they were going under renovation, but they're more tropical, and there's even a pond with turtles in it most of the year. Super cool. So this is one hidden gem, but the area is a bit sketchy. I do have to warn you, and I would like to say it's gotten sketchy lately. It's always been sketchy around this garden, so just, keep your wits about you if you do travel down here, but it is generally safe. I don't want to scare you off. And then after this lovely visit, we walked over to something called Salad King, a restaurant I've been going to since I was 18 years old, and I love popping in. It's actually upstairs, so at any given time it is absolutely full of students. The food is well priced, it's quick. I love getting their pad thai. Now it's time to go home. All right, back home now. It's one of those days where I just wanted to scrape my hair back into a bun and get my makeup off early so I can start relaxing in anticipation of the weekend. Jen and I popped into this little city Ikea that they had on the way to picking up some food. So I'm gonna show you what I got. So for 99 cents, I got this just little toaster bamboo tongs, which will be good for when my son gets his morning toast out of the toaster. And then Jen told me that this was a really great deal, and I've been wanting a rasp, I think that's what these are called, to grate zest. I don't have one of these tools for zesting lemons and limes. Got these really nice wooden handles. So this was $7.99. That was well worth picking up. Oh, right, okay, you slip it into this guard. Obviously, you can't just leave this open. You'll hurt yourself. And then the third thing I got, which I've never had before, but I was sorely tempted, my friends, cookies with raspberry jam inside of them. So here are my little three things from Ikea. So it's always fun to pop in there. I love dishware, as you guys know. I was very tempted by some plates, so I don't know. Maybe I'll go back one of these days and pick up some plates. Back here are my New Balance shoes. We talked about this recently, and I actually have had a change of heart. I think it's actually these that I don't think I'll keep, and I think I may keep the hiking pair that I was telling you about for my upcoming trip to Alberta's Rocky Mountains. And I'm gonna take these to the gym today and try them on indoors because I tried them with thicker socks, which I was discussing, and I think that they're actually gonna fit good. These though I may send back because on second thought, I don't like the black. I think I like them being like all a light color instead. Also, I don't know if you can see this, I hate the way they've done this label where it twists in. You know I do product reviews too, right? So I actually have a pretty popular video about these shoes, which is something that I love to do. I like to do product reviews. Speaking of products, I've got another skincare delivery. So this is a brand called OneSkin, and I picked out facial cleanser, which looks like this. Have not tried it yet. Then sunscreen. We use a lot of sunscreen in this house. My husband is a melanoma survivor and a serious melanoma survivor as well, like 50% chance of survival, and he survived. And he had a friend that didn't survive. So one day maybe I'll tell that story here. He's written about it. I'll link up the article that he's written about that experience, having his friend who he met in treatment die from melanoma, and he survived out of the two of them. Crazy times. So we always have SPF. So I've got this body SPF from OneSkin, and then I got a facial moisturizer SPF as well, and these will get all used up. So one for body, one for face. Have not used these yet. My rule of thumb here when I just discuss products that I'm receiving, like in PR, is that if they're good, you'll hear me talk about them again. If I don't like them, you'll never hear me talk about them again, basically. So I think I have a code for OneSkin, and that probably begs the question, why do you give away codes if you don't even know if you like it? Well, the way that videos work, I've noticed, is that people sometimes will come, even if you're not trying it and you're not doing a review, sometimes they'll come to this segment of my vlog just because they want to see what it looks like. For example, they might be curious, what is the size of the body visibly compared to the size of the moisturizer? Because you can see they're vastly different sizes in terms of the packaging. Someone might want to know, what does this facial cleanser look like? You'll see an amount. 200 milliliters. That probably doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but when they see me hold it, even if I'm not using it and they're interested in this product, they just want to see what's inside the box. They want to see what that looks like. So for those people, or for those who maybe like it and know it anyway, that's why I provide the code. A code is not an endorsement from me, but if people are keen to buy it anyway, I figure I may as well provide the discount code that has been given to me. This is a company that's very heavy on the science. I think doctor backed as well. Won't lie though, don't know a ton about them, but I am eager to try them out. One value that's really important to me is that we all sit down together and have a family dinner, and I will move mountains to make sure that this happens. Even when my son was little, we never had separate meal times. We always eat together. Well, good morning. I'm having another one of these days where I cannot seem to get dressed and get out of the house. Now, I promised I wouldn't complain about the weather anymore, so I'm not going to say anything. Suffice it to say, I need to wear my rain boots, I need to bring an umbrella, and I need to bring a heavy coat on account of the temperature. That's just an observation. I'm not complaining, I swear. I have been trying to get going for the last hour, and I keep sidetracking myself. I have no one or nothing to blame but me, but there's just no way I can stay cooped up here all day, so let's try and get out and about. I've been pretty much makeup free for this entire vlog, except for the time that I was out with Jen. Now, I'm just not in the mood to put any on, and I used to apologize for coming on without any makeup, but I think it is important to normalize being a woman of a certain age and not feeling like you have to wear makeup all the time. So here I am. And now I can't find my AirPods. This is what I mean. Okay, got them. I'm truly ready to go now. So she says. Rainy weekend in the city. Once you go outside and you warm up a bit, it's actually not so bad. There's a kind of quiet peacefulness that comes over, because if this were a beautiful day, these sidewalks would be so crowded, but it just feels so much more leisurely when it's like this. So as I said, I'm not apologizing for not wearing any makeup, which is unusual for Canadians. I feel like we're always apologizing. So we're now in the thrift shop near me, and have a look at this. I think it's a print of Cuba. So many jeans. I would love to get a pair of looser fit jeans, but easier said than done, because everything at the thrift store is either a straight leg or a skinny, and I have enough skinnies. See what I mean? Levi's high-rise skinny, another high-rise skinny. Pants could be good too. Let's see here. Dishware's not that great today. Ugh, I'm just not feeling it. Some days you come and it's just, you know, it's not your day. These are quite pretty though. I am once again in the slightest bit of a rush. I'm doing something new today, which is I'm going to join this It's not a club, it's sort of like a collective of urban sketchers. They're meeting downtown at Union Station. I've never gone before. I'm trying to get my act together so I can get out the door. Well, you'll see what it's all about, but basically it's a group of people that sketch together and they sketch in real time and they sketch buildings. It tends to be buildings. It could be other things as well, but that's generally what they do in a city environment anyway. So that'll be a first for me. I don't know anybody there. I'm expecting a pretty big group despite it being not the best weather, but what I like is it's all indoors and it's in beautiful Union Station, which is our huge train station that brings in all the commuter trains, the trains from across the country, and also the subway connects to it as well. But before that, I just remembered the Sephora sale is coming, so I'm not gonna spend too long talking about this, but just quickly, you know, sometimes you're trying to get up to like a shipping minimum or something like that, and so you just want an idea of what to get. I'm just gonna show you what I like, just in case any of it is interesting to you. I'll keep this very brief. I know I'll be repurchasing this Ouai, I have it upside down because there's not much left, Ouai medium hair conditioner. I don't know that this does anything special. Like my hair is not receptive to conditioner. It just isn't. I like the scent. It's pretty light. It doesn't leave my hair looking greasy and it pairs well with my shampoo, which is not a Ouai shampoo, even though their shampoos are very nice. It is actually still Kerastase Nutritive Satin. This is the one for fine to medium hair. I've been using this for going on 10 years now, I would say. I buy 2 bottles a year and they last me. I go through about 1.75 bottles in a year. I'm considering buying the full bottle of this, which is Jo Malone's English Pear and Sweet Pea Cologne. It does smell like pear. I don't know what else to say. It does smell like pear and it has a nice dry down. Like hours later, you can still smell it a little bit. Some people hate that about Jo Malone perfume. They don't last very long, but that is actually my favorite thing because I cannot be overpowered by my own perfume all day long. Also, where I live is this is not a very perfume friendly culture. Like it's considered quite gauche to go any kind of medical setting. Not that that's what I'm doing on the regular, but if you go to many doctor's offices, they say no perfume. I've seen this sign for no perfume in a lot of different places, not even just medical settings, but anywhere you're going to be kind of enclosed with people, it's not considered nice to be strongly smelling of perfume. That said, this must not smell too much because any time I wear it, nobody ever comments, even my own family members, they don't tend to smell it, so it must stay very close to me. I'll link up these and also whatever the discount code is this year. I don't know what it's gonna be. Not my code, just like Sephora's code. They always have one every year, so I'll figure out what that is and then I'll link it for you guys down below. Now, when it comes to codes and links, I try and put them in the description, but also in the comments because I know sometimes it's just easier to see the comments. So I'm not repurchasing because you can see I have quite a bit left, but one thing I would repurchase, and I do repurchase, I just don't need any right now, is this Ouai leave-in conditioner. It just smells really nice and it works as a little bit of a heat protectant. And what I like it for is just tamping down these little frizzies on the top. So I will give this a spritz. Especially in the winter, it really helps because I'm wearing hats a lot, right? And I'm taking them on and off and then it makes my frizzies go wild at the very, very top here, the little flyaways. So this helps to tamp them down. So that's it, just a small amount of stuff that I really like from Sephora. I know you guys though like Ulta better. I know this because if I put a Sephora link and an Ulta link, I can see which links are more popular. So just in case you're not into Sephora, I'll put Ulta links if I can find them down below for these products, if they carry it. I'm not as familiar with what Ulta has and what they don't have because we don't have Ultas here in Canada. Sephora is actually a French company. So I'm still here. This is very embarrassing to admit. The meetup actually happened yesterday. I got the dates wrong. Thank goodness I did not get on the subway and go all the way down there before I realized. I was like, let me just double check where they're actually meeting up. I go on the Instagram page of Urban Sketchers Toronto and what do I see in the stories but Union Station? I'm looking through the stories thinking, hey, wait a minute, that's Union Station. This already happened. It happened yesterday. Fails. Just hashtag fail. It's okay. I don't know what's going on with me lately. I am never scatterbrained like this. I'm not the one to be rushing around. I think it's just the universe's cue for me to slow down and be more like my normal self instead of being my rushed self, because my rushed self is not the best version of me, that's for sure. Some people, like Niall, kind of get a buzz out of like rushing around, dashing about and doing things. I find it stressful. So, lesson learned. So while I'm just like slightly irritated with myself for the mix-up, I will give myself grace because I'm not the forgetful type. It has given me now the opportunity instead to go for a walk in the perfect slippery-ish wet conditions to try out these trail runners. So far so good, although this is far from the terrain obviously that I will be expecting if I'm doing a kind of a trail. So I wanted to test if they have grip, and they do, so that's good. I've also made another little self-realization, and it just occurred to me this week, which is that I don't really enjoy creating art from photos that much. I much prefer to see it, especially nature in real life, and feel that emotion connecting to my hand in real time. Does that make sense? Like, I will use photos to get inspiration, but it's not the same, and I just don't feel that electric, enjoyable jolt that I do when I'm actually looking at something, which I guess is pretty normal. However, because I'm not being inspired by any novel nature right now, it's been a challenge. But I am starting a watercolor class on Wednesday, so that should be fun. Maybe that'll invigorate me again. I'm also committed to starting painting in oil soon, so that's coming. Yeah, it's been a year. I've been doing watercolor for a year, so now it's time to try a different medium. So that's Stockyards Mall. I hardly ever walk here. I usually take the car, but I got dropped off just for something to do. I was not in the mood to be cooped up inside the house, even though I usually use that time alone to do my art practice on a weekend. I thought, I'm not feeling it today. In general, it's been a bit of a struggle. A lot of people on foot here today. If you want to look around a bit, there is a McDonald's there. Out in the distance, there's a huge pharmacy, Shoppers Drug Mart, lines to go. Over on this side is a Home Depot. And in here, there is an Old Navy. It's like one of these outdoor malls, which is quite wholly unsuited for our climate, but here we go. We are in Old Navy. I like these little flowers. This top looks much like the one I tried on H&M, at H&M if you remember. I think it was the last vlog or maybe the one before it. I love these 3/4 sleeves. I think these could be kind of nice. So I was supposed to be going to the art store, and here I am inside the Old Navy changing room with just a few things. I'm gonna try on some jeans and a little blouse that I found. I'm not the biggest fast fashion person, but I do allow myself one outfit per season, so let's see how these go. I think I found a winner. I really like these. They're actually not terribly long on me either. Kind of cute. There's a tiny thread poking out though. Let me show you. This is where the thread is coming from. Okay, let's see how it goes with the blouse. I think this is actually kind of cute, but I need to size down. It's just too roomy. Okay, I think objectively this doesn't look bad, but I just don't feel me in it, you know? But they're nice. Like, these are nice linen pants. I like the fit and the cut of this top with the 3/4 sleeves, they're not 3/4, the elbow length sleeves. I love an elbow length sleeve, but it's not comfortable. The fabrics are not comfortable. And these, let's get a better look. They're nice to about where the hip is, and then they're just way too baggy, way too much. Okay, so I did like those jeans quite a lot, but what happened was that they're not on sale at all. So I'm gonna order them online because I want to order the blouse in my size as well. And then also the linen trousers. I think I might try them in a smaller size, which they didn't have. So I'm just gonna be ordering a few things online. Also, I would like to get a pair of those jeans that don't have a thread coming out of the PP area, you know what I'm saying? And I know that it'll be like 30% off. It was not on sale at all. So that's gonna be an online order. And now time for Michael's. Here we are at Michael's, and I usually do shop independent for art supplies, but you know what, I'm here anyway, and they have a really great sales section, so we're gonna have a peek inside. I can already tell you what's gonna happen here, and what's gonna happen here is that I'm gonna leave empty-handed, and then I'm gonna remember what it is that I needed on the way home. I am in the embroidery section, one of my favorite sections, because the art supplies I can readily get, but not every place has this much thread. So many pretty colors though. Here at Michael's, they've got hoops, they've got embellishments, they've got kits, if that's what you're into. Like, there's so much for those who are into needle crafts. However, if I'm gonna keep it completely real, these embroidery kits are not that great. They're actually all kind of terrible. They're not that attractive. Now, this is annoying. The one thing I would like to get is a package of tapestry wool, and it's on sale. Only 10 bucks instead of 22, and it's all gone. Typical. Only the regular priced one is left. Okay, never mind the needlework stuff. Let's go look at the art supplies. I love looking at all the paper. Ooh, clearance, okay. I love a good clearance section, but I don't see very much. $5. This is cute though. This section reminds me of Target, you know, the bins at the front of Targets. That's this. I think that's a phone holder. Little phone purse, little purses. These hair clips are a pretty good deal. $4 for 2 of them. Okay, it's time to stop goofing around and act like a real artist here. Let's see what they have. Pencils, pens. So in my watercolor class, they wanted us to buy tubes, a set like this. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be doing that because I have kits already, and the kits have all the same color as the tubes. I already have it, so I'm not gonna reinvest in a whole bunch of watercolor tubes that I don't want or need. However, I don't know what the instructor has to say about that, so I guess I'm gonna find out this week. The cool thing about getting older though is you just really don't care what the instructor has to say. That's what you have, that's what you're bringing, that's what you're gonna use. Now I could do with getting an easel because I am starting oil, and that is something I'm gonna need eventually. I just don't know what to get, so I'm not gonna buy anything till I'm kind of sure what it is that's gonna help me the most, because I just don't know. Well, hello from the very glamorous setting of the parking lot. My guys are here, just waiting for them to meet me at the car. They're just doing a little bit of shopping themselves. No luck, really. I'm gonna order some stuff from Old Navy. Michael's, there was just nothing there that I wanted, although it is full of cute stuff, a lot of Easter themed stuff. And I'm just gonna head home now, I guess. If you think that I thought ahead to bring my own key to open the car so I could sit inside and be warm instead of staying out here, you thought wrong. I forgot it at home. All right, see you back at my house. So once I got home, here's what happened. I first wanted to draw something and I wasn't really sure where the sketch was gonna go, but then suddenly I felt inspired to paint instead. So I quickly erased what I was drawing and I picked up my paintbrush. And I think that chatting through the sort of feelings of non-inspiration that I was having helped to free me from this demand that I had kind of placed on myself. I know that this sounds very convoluted, but the end result was I did feel inspired to paint some of my usual subject matter, which tends to be flowers, especially peonies and roses. I use so much pink when I paint. I just felt like dabbling in there. So what I did was use a nice mixture of watercolor plus white gouache to make a more opaque color paint. And I just really felt free to go for it. There are so many lessons to be learned in life if we just listen to ourselves and listen to what we're feeling instead of forcing ourselves to push through, especially when it comes to creative and artistic endeavors. It is not a straightforward discipline like going to the gym or something like that. Sometimes you don't feel moved, and then what do, right? So I think the first step for me in getting over this sort of creative block or this sort of resistance that I was feeling was to just admit that that was how I was feeling. And so once I did that, and now that I've done that, I feel really free again to pick up the paintbrushes and to just go wherever my mind leads me without any pressure. I think that I've been doing this now so many days consecutively. I really needed to give myself a mental break, definitely a few physical days off to be away from my materials, and that helps as well. I do love painting. I do love drawing. I do wonder if I've come to the end of the line for the watercolor part of my journey, or maybe it's something that I keep dabbling in. I don't really know. I am excited to start with oil, so that's coming up soon. And then the other part of me worries, am I like a lifelong dabbler? I might be, because I do get bored of things eventually. I do need a lot of mental stimulation to keep my interest in hobbies, or maybe this is just seasonal and I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe I just need a bit of a break until I see some actual flowers, and I'll be really inspired to start going heavy duty on the daily watercoloring as I had been doing for a year. I don't really know. This is my first time walking through this particular experience because, you know, my background is as a writer. And so even if I didn't feel like writing anything, I almost always had to write something because that is the discipline of it being a job rather than just a hobby or something you enjoy learning. but it just never worked. Like I could just take time off, or I felt tired of it and I didn't do it the next day. It just wasn't a possibility. It is the same as getting up and needing to go to work. It was how, I survived and the income that I lived on. Probably though, at the end of all of it, it doesn't really matter that much. I should do what makes me happy, and that's what I'm going to try and do. And I'm going to try and keep going with all the art that really calls to me, and I'm not going to apologize. I think that was kind of the theme of this vlog, learning how not to apologize, not just for not wearing makeup, which is a tiny thing, who cares about that, but really not to feel like I have to apologize to myself or to feel like I'm letting myself down, and just let everything flow and let the creativity go where it's going to go, and not be too stressed about, well, if I take a break, does this mean I don't even like doing this anymore? Which I think is the headspace I was in. Okay, a lot of kind of random thoughts there. Hopefully they coalesced into something that makes a little bit of sense. If you've enjoyed this video, please do consider dropping me a like, subscribing, even leave me a comment with an emoji if you've come to this far, like, I don't know, a flower or something like that. As you guys know, I treasure you so much. Thank you so much for spending your time here with me and making it into the deep end of this video. And we will see you on the next one. Bye.